In our ongoing series where we get stories directly from you about what's important in your neighborhoods and your communities, today we've got one about an all-volunteer organization whose mission it is, to put it quite simply, to save lives. And yet, for all the urgency of their work, you've probably never heard of them before. Well, Tina Love-Green got to know this crew a little better. So, Tina, who are they?
Well, we're going to introduce you to these volunteers. They're with the Royal Canadian Marine Search and Rescue, and they operate out of 41 different stations all across BC, and they have over 1,000 volunteers, and they respond to a lot of calls. They respond to 800 calls a year, and they were telling me that when they show up to rescues, people confuse them for the Canadian Coast Guard, which is a little different because these guys are all volunteer. They don't get paid, and most of them have 9-to-5 jobs. Take a look at their local story.
Hi, my name is Randy Strand. I'm a volunteer with the Royal Canadian Marine Search and Rescue. I grew up in a family where my dad volunteered, my brother volunteered. It seemed normal that you gave back to the community you lived in.
There's definitely a lack of awareness, and that spreads Vancouver, BC, and across Canada. I think people in general aren't really aware of all the volunteers in this country who serve.
We have 1,000 volunteers across British Columbia in 41 different stations.
The hardest part is the number of hours. You get up 3 o'clock in the morning, it's raining, it's dark, it's cold, miserable, and you have to go out, and if you're on call, you have to respond.
So we respond to everything. The calls can range from somewhat severe to the mundane, from a person who has hurt themselves on their boat to a boat that's on fire, or a boat that might be sinking because it hit something. So often we have to find the subject first.
On under the bridge there?
I've been on a few calls where things have happened and we've had to be on top of it and make some decisions. Unfortunately, they didn't have good outcomes. The days after things happen, it's kind of hard. You'll see things that remind you of the call. But again, you just got to go on and think about the next time that maybe you'll be able to help out and make the call different. And hoping that one time you'll be able to get there on time to help somebody.
That training time is expensive. We rely on donations, and those donations come from the public, and that really allows us to kind of improve our gear. It's never enough.
Why do you do this?
I surf, and if you've been in the water and you're tired, exhausted, and if somebody comes and picks you up, it's such the greatest feeling to get saved.
We're always looking for new volunteers and having the community know that we're out there.
Wow. So I listened to their stories, and I suspect for a group like that, I mean, they're always on the hunt for good people, right? Good volunteers. So what are they looking for in a volunteer?
Well,
if people want to come forward.
Well, they will take anyone who's dedicated, committed, and willing to put in the time. And that's the main thing, is the time. You need to be able to dedicate 2 shifts a week, plus 1 day for training. And the training, you don't get to go on the water right away. There is 8 weeks of basic training. After that, there is a 6-month on the water training when you'll be able to do everything like navigation, first aid, dewatering a boat, and even pulling someone from the water.
Wow.
But if you want to command the boat, well, that's another 4 to 5 years of training.
Right. Quite an intensive process, and understandably so. Tina, thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
So remember, all these stories, they come directly from you as part of our What's Your Story initiative. So keep them coming. You can email us at mylocalstory@cbc.ca or send us a message on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram and use the hashtag #MyLocalStory.